Yo, hi fans of the Bat, Yogi here. I've slapped together a very crude LED pattern for the side engine illumination of the Batmobile. McFarlane, Batman and Robin. That's what I came up with on my own. I'm not pretty sure if that's movie accurate or not. I think at least it's a representation of what I think I could observe watching the video and the documentary about the Batmobiles, where everything is nice and in frame, but then it was camera left and right and you couldn't really make out the pattern. Yeah, basically that's to the front of the car, which at least in the movie it looks like it was always on, and then we had some light traveling back, you know. But if that's just always on, I thought it's going to be a little bit boring, I said. So I had this one ramp up from medium, you know, they are all very low dimmed, and then it goes to the back and they are dimming down sequentially until they are all off, and then the pattern repeats from the front. Yeah, let me run down the code with you. Okay, it's a lot of code, but actually it's just a repeating pattern. At first, I'm not going down on how to write a code, you know, if you want that, with those brackets and the curly brackets, you know, this is going to be very daunting at first, but believe me, once you get the hang of it, first you have to define everything, the LED pin 1 up to 5, you can use also 6 if you want to, or less, up to you. And then if you want to dim the LEDs, you need to know on the Arduino board which output pins can be dimmable via PWM, and this is 3, 5, 6, 9 and 10. You know, it's the same for the Arduino Uno and the Nano, which I'm using. So, and then we have to define the values or the brightness of the LED, which off is 0 and full brightness is 255. And then I have off, low, low 1, medium, medium 1 and high. That's the first part where you define everything. Then in the void setup, you have to define the pin modes, LEDs, and that's an output. Forget about that. That's because from an older project I've butchered. Void loop, and this basically are the states of each of the 5 LEDs at any given point. At first they are all low. 100 milliseconds later the first LED gets to low 1. 100 milliseconds later it gets to medium. 100 milliseconds later it gets to medium 1, and 100 milliseconds later it gets to high. Then it stays on high for half a second. Then the high basically travels down, and each LED before gets one brightness level lower. You know, here then the second one goes on high directly, and it goes back. This one goes back to medium 1. Then the next one goes on high, medium 1, medium, high, medium 1, medium, low 1, and so on and off until they are all off, like that. And then I do a 150 milliseconds delay at the end. And when there's nothing more in the loop, guess what? The loop starts from the front. That's basically it. You can also write a code in Tinkercad, you know. Let me show you. In Tinkercad, you don't get an Arduino Nano, but you can get an Arduino Uno. I've also prepared another Arduino for the blue LEDs in the panel. More on that later. And this is basically how you wire it up. You know, on the real deal, you don't really need a pre-resistor on those small LEDs. Why do I know that? Because it works without the pre-resistor here, live. Anyway, you wire up from the 3 to the first positive, 5 always to the anode, which is a positive, 6, 9 and 10. And as you can see, 11 is also the 6th PWM output, so you can use up to 6. Just add one line of code more to each block. Anyway, once you have done that, you also have to put a common ground on the ground pin where all the pre-resistors are, but you can also use a wire on the real thing as shown here. And now here you can start write the code and see if it works, and then copy paste it to the Arduino program, or if you have it in the Arduino program, you can copy paste it here and start the simulation. This one looks a little bit different because once that worked, I made it basically that I copied this one, put it into the Arduino. Okay, yeah, it works. And then I did some changes, added a little bit more brightness values and changed the pattern down here. And once that's done, you click on compile. Then it compiles. And if there's an error, it would show up. Done compiling, no error messages. Then you plug it into your computer. See that the Arduino is connected. And click on upload. Every time you upload, it automatically compiles it and checks it for errors. It uploads it. And once it's done, it starts the animation. So, anyway, if you are new to that stuff and you just want to get to the code right before you even consider buying an Arduino, you can absolutely go to Tinkercad and do that and try out the animations here. That's absolutely possible, and see if you can get a code to work. That's absolutely fine. That's the thing I would do. And if that's done, basically you can build that stuff for real. Copy the whole show here. Go to the Arduino software, paste the code, and connect your Arduino. Just make sure under tools, where do we have it, that the correct board is selected. I mean, you do not have to use a Nano, you can use another board and all of that. And sometimes it's also necessary to check if the programmer is correct, you know, because those boards are open source and sometimes, depending on where you get your Arduino from, you know, you might have to fiddle around which programmer to use. Yeah, and all of that. But once you have received your Arduino, the first thing I basically would do is you go to File, Examples, Basic, and Blink. Oh. So this code just lets the onboard LED, the LED that's here on the Arduino, not that one, another one, lets it blink. You know, here LED built-in output and void loop digital write, LED built-in high, a second later LED built-in low. Basically the same we did, just with one LED and two statuses: on, delay, off, delay, on, delay, off, delay. That's the simplest code you can find here in the examples, and you plug your Arduino in, see if the program recognizes your Arduino type on a COM port, and then you basically upload it. And if then your Arduino starts blinking that LED, you know everything in the setup is correct. Here under tools that you have selected your right board and your right programmer, and then you can start doing your stuff. Yeah, once that's done, I'm releasing that code or that codes, and then everyone is happy. Okay, guys, not a lot of Batmobile showing, you know, just what's behind the scenes here. And yeah, see you, bye.